Clat Possible because they said that the faculty is very, very good and the content is fresh and it's really good. So the new competition is going to be in Clat Possible.
Just tell us about how you went about preparing for the AILET exam, because many candidates are now conflicted, because they feel CLAT and AILET are different exams. So do you feel the same? And if yes, then what was the way that you prepared for AILET?
This is a very good question because both the exams, they complement each other, because AILET and CLAT, the pattern is very different. And before I go any further, students were always scared of AILET that 150 questions, 90 minutes, how do we manage the time, etc. The first step is don't be scared of any exam, right? It's just an exam, and if you're prepared, you'll do well. So in my AILET preparation, should I go section wise, man?
Yeah.
So I'll start with general knowledge. Newspaper is very important, right? I never had the habit of reading the newspaper, but I was pushed by my family. You start reading newspapers. So I think that really helped me because it made me realize the importance of general knowledge. And now moving on to English. Speed reading is very important, right? And you should read from word power. It's a very, very good book. It was rather advised from my CP faculty that you should mug up word power book because it really helped me enhance my vocabulary. Now moving on to maths. Class 10th level examination maths, that's all, right? So don't be scared that what sort of questions are going to come. Basic elementary maths. Legal is something which I think the content which was given by Clat Possible, and especially the topic tests which were given on the CP side, they were really, really helpful. Once you're through with the topic tests, you get a very, very comprehensive analysis of your performance, and that shows your weaknesses and your strengths in that section. And I think practice is the mantra for AILET.
Thank you so much, Digvijay. I hope your campus starts soon and then you can feel that you are actually going to a national law university. But whatever time you have spent on online classes, are you excited to join campus now?
I am, ma'am. It's just that I hope that our campus reopens and all is back to normal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi Digvijay, so why don't you introduce yourself, your AILET rank and
Hello everyone, I am Shelly Sinha. I belong to the city beautiful, that is Chandigarh, and I have cleared NLS and NLU Delhi in my first attempt. So I was a student at DAB Model School Chandigarh, and I was enrolled as a one-year student with CP in the BREEZE program. So the basic reason I chose law as a career was the very instinct I had from my childhood. That was to be very ardent about my opinions about the things I came across. So how I came to know about CP is a question that gets answered itself because CP has been a very reputed name in this field for years. I have seen flourishing results every year, and when I decided to choose law, the first people I concerned, that was my schoolmates, they actually pushed me to choose CP because they themselves had seen the results. It was basically through my school friends and the reputed name it already had. And the way it helped me was, I cannot express in words. It helped me in every sphere, in my motivation, in my preparation, in my material, everything. So I joined in as a one-year student. So initially I was very anxious because I knew I was starting off late and many of my competitors were way ahead of me. So what kept me motivated was, to be honest, the interaction with the teachers. The best thing about CP is that the faculty is pretty approachable. I have contacted teachers at 3 a.m. I have got my doubts cleared at 3 a.m. The classes that happened online were pretty good. The way the concepts were taught was pretty impressive. The way the doubts were cleared was unmatchable. Also, I would say the teachers were pretty interactive all the time. They were readily available. We had sessions throughout the day to keep our mental balance in place. Like, the classes would start from 8 a.m. They would go up to 11 p.m. There would be GK sessions, there would be doubt sessions, there would be quizzes, there would be mock analysis, there would be mock timings, there would be analysis of the Hindu, everything. They made sure that we were kept pretty engrossed all the time so that we do not waste our times, and that is something that actually kept me going as well, because I could see the toil they were taking and the hard work they were putting in to bring out our results.
A very good morning to each and everyone joining us on a Sunday morning for this CLAT AILET preparation online conclave. I welcome each and every one of you. I just was going through some of the messages and it was so warming to see that many aspirants, many young budding aspirants from class 10th, 11th and 12th have joined this conclave. And one of the students, if I remember his name correctly, Ashwini, was asking, sir, how can I crack the common law admission test? So friends, this conclave is for all of you. This conclave is to enable all of you to make an informed choice regarding your career. This conclave is to help you all understand what CLAT exactly is, what the preparation for CLAT requires, how you can crack the common law admission test and get into one of the best law schools of India. And over the next 1 hour, I will be joined by many experts from Clat Possible. I also belong to Clat Possible. And these experts, these students of Clat Possible, they will be guiding you from their very first-hand experience. What is it that they did that helped them reach these top law schools? So friends, first things first, can I see in the chat box who all have joined me? Can you quickly just say which cities are you from, which class are you from? Because friends, I'm pretty sure most of you are from 10th, 11th and 12th, and this is the right time. So a big congratulations to all those who have decided to attend this conclave on a Sunday morning, because friends, they say knowledge is empowerment. And trust me when I say this, over the next 1 hour, you will gain a lot of insight about what law as a career has to offer. With me today is the founder of Clat Possible, Dr. Surbhi Modi Sahai. I welcome you, ma'am. So, friends, let me first tell you about Clat Possible. Clat Possible celebrated its 10th anniversary last year. Clat Possible is a very reputed name in the field of law entrance exam preparation. It is it is an institute that solely focuses on law entrance exams like CLAT, AILET, BLAT, Punjab University, Symbiosis, so on and so forth. And friends, Clat Possible has branches across India. At present, we have 14 branches in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Lucknow, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Dehradun, Ranchi, Patna, Prayagraj, and Kanpur. Noida. Also, friends, in case a branch of Clat Possible isn't there in your city, you needn't worry, because Clat Possible offers, friends, end-to-end solutions to crack the common law admission test, even online. So students can prepare from the comfort of their home, as well as they can gain from the physical class experience in the various branches of Clat Possible. Friends, my name is Nikhil Katyal. I am your academic mentor at Clat Possible. I teach legal reasoning as well as current affairs and GK at Clat Possible. And friends, more than that, why I have joined you all today is to shed some light over a hidden gem that is law. I discovered this hidden gem roughly 10 years ago when I cracked the common law admission test in my very first attempt, securing an all India rank of 373. I went on to study in one of the best law schools of not just India, but Asia as well, National Law University, Jodhpur. More about that, but first, friends, let me share some of the results that our students have secured in the recent past. Now, friends, there have been many achievements that can be credited to the students of Clat Possible. There was a time, like I will share a few instances with you, CLAT 2012, when, friends, 40% of the top 10 CLAT achievers were CPNs. Yes, friends, CPNs are students, are the integral family members who prepare from CLAT Possible and they achieve their dreams. Similarly, friends, if we go by the latest CLAT paper that was held last year in July, Nidhi Agarwal secured All India Rank 2 in it. She was our student. And friends, along with that, we have another panelist over here today. I will be introducing her to all of you very, very soon. And friends, her name is Ananya Tangri. She secured an All India rank of 28 in CLAT 2021. Along with this, many other achievers have joined us personally. They have taken out some precious time from their schedule. And friends, they will be talking to you over the next 1 hour regarding CLAT. But friends, first things first, let me just see in the chat section, how many of you really want to become a lawyer? You might be surprised, sir, what sort of a question is this? But this is a very genuine question. And I'll be super honest with you, friends. Though I am a lawyer at present, but friends, when I was in school, when I was in a critical juncture in my academic life, I never thought that I could also become a lawyer. Firstly, friends, I am a first generation lawyer, meaning thereby that nobody in my family before me was a lawyer. So there was a bit hesitance in the beginning because I didn't know much about this field. Also, friends, I wasn't as lucky as you all are. No conclaves regarding career counseling, regarding law as a career were being organized at that point of time. So a big thumbs up to Clat Possible for organizing this and enabling all you budding young aspirants to choose wisely. Next thing is, I can see some messages. So Jasleen says she wants to be a lawyer. Soumya also says so. Harsimran, Mansi Raj wants to become a lawyer. That's great, friends. Solanki, Honey. Okay. So friends, when I said, okay, Aryan also, Asrar also, Nupur also, that's great, friends. So I'll tell you, I will give you many reasons why, friends, law as a career should be the right choice for you. At the end of the day, let me give you a disclaimer. It's your choice. Whatever you feel is the best career option for you, choose that, but choose wisely. And to choose wisely, let me tell you about law. Now, friends, over the next 1 hour, we'll be talking about CLAT. We'll be talking about NLUs. Just so that we all are on the same page, let me quickly tell all my lovely friends joining me here today that CLAT stands for Common Law Admission Test. This is an all India level test, friends, that is conducted every year by consortium of NLUs. Now, friends, what exactly are these NLUs? So NLUs are the premier institutions. They are the coveted law schools of India, and their full form is National Law Universities. As you can see on the slide in front of you, friends, at present, there are a total of 23 NLUs. A couple more NLUs are in the pipeline, and most probably by the time 23 aspirants or 24 aspirants would be writing the common law admission test, the number of NLUs would have risen to 25 or 26 even. Now, friends, out of these 23 NLUs, all these colleges are very good, but let me just give you a brief idea which are some of the most reputed law schools of India, which are the best amongst the best. And friends, the best college today here is, friends, Bangalore. So NLS Bangalore is the best college for pursuing a 5-year integrated law degree. Similarly, friends, NLUs in Hyderabad, NLU in Kolkata, which is known as NUJS, then friends, Delhi and Jodhpur. These are some of the top 5 law schools in India at present. Now, moving ahead, friends, let me quickly tell you some of the key benefits why you should choose law. First, and the most important benefit that I have personally experienced over the last 1 decade or so in my journey from a law aspirant to a law student and finally as a lawyer is that, friends, law is super relatable. Now, when I say that law is super relatable, you all will be surprised to see that law is around us everywhere. Whether it is, friends, the traffic rules around us, whether it is the crime that is being reported, the unfortunate incidents that are being reported in newspapers, in, friends, news channels, you will see that we all are surrounded by laws and we all in this society are governed by laws. So not once during my 5 years, my 5 magical years at National Law University, Jodhpur, did I ever feel that what I was studying, I couldn't relate to it. If one starts relating to what one is reading, what one is studying, then, friends, it becomes very, very easy to comprehend those topics. And if you are able to comprehend well, then you are able to retain it well. If you are able to retain it well, then you are able to apply it well. There is a very famous saying, friends, that law is nothing but common sense. And I truly agree with it. If you have the common sense of a reasonable man, if you have the basic analytical skills, then, friends, law is the career that is meant for you. Now, friends, what are traffic signals? If I ask you, do you all know that we cannot jump the red light? Do you all know that we have to stop before the zebra crossing? In what are these, friends? All these traffic rules are nothing but laws only. Similarly, friends, if we violate these traffic rules, what are we doing? We are committing traffic violations. And, friends, we also know what is the penalty. The traffic policeman will catch us. He will levy a hefty fine on us. So, friends, in law also we get to study this. What exactly constitutes crime? And if somebody is guilty of a crime, what sort of a penalty is imposed upon him or her? Next benefit that I personally feel choosing law will get you is, friends, empowerment. I just congratulated all of you, friends, that you are attending this conclave, and hence, friends, knowledge is empowerment. You all are getting empowered. Now, friends, just think about this. By reading, by studying, and by becoming a lawyer, friends, you get empowered in a very powerful manner. You get to know about your legal rights, you get to know about your fundamental rights, and not just your rights, the rights of your near and dear ones, the rights of society in general. And, friends, you can make a difference if you know about these rights. Now, it is empowering because, friends, if you have the knowledge of the law, then nobody dares to trample upon your rights. Nobody dares to infringe upon those rights. Moving on to the next benefit that I personally feel law has to offer in today's time in a very competitive Indian educational system is the cost benefit analysis, which tilts always in favor of cracking the common law admission test. Now, friends, let me quickly tell you a few facts about common law admission test. Now, like I said, this is the exam that will help you, that will enable you to seek admission in one of the best law schools, NLUs of India. Next, friends, CLAT is written. Can you all guess how many students roughly write CLAT every single year? Just a rough guess. Let me see. Participate in the chat section. Okay, Nupur says 70,000, Mudit says 60,000, Aryan says 1,500. So friends, you all are more or less correct. Let me give you a rough figure. It is roughly 60 to 65,000 students writing the common law admission test every single year. Now, friends, out of these students, how many get to study in the top 22 NLUs of India? So, friends, to be honest, you have to be amongst the top 1,000, or at max, you have to be amongst the top 2,000 in the country. Now, friends, some of you might be wondering, Nikhil sir, what are you saying? Out of 65,000 students, securing a rank in top 2,000 is still a big task. But friends, let us just compare these figures with some other competitive exams, and then I will try to explain the cost benefit analysis to each and every one of you. Friends, there is a mad rat race out there to become an IITian. Many people, without even understanding what are the career prospects that IITs offer, they all are in the rat race to write this exam. So friends, exams like IIT JEE, NEET, do you all know how many students write these exams every single year? Is it 15? Is it 1,500? 15,000? 1,50,000? No, friends, it is upwards of 15 lakh. And friends, you might argue the seats are more, sir. But friends, the seats are hardly 10,000. So when you compare 10,000 seats with 2,000 seats of CLAT, you might think there are more opportunities in IIT. But friends, just have a look at this. 60,000 students you have to compete with, and over here 15 lakh students you are competing with. So I hope that you all are understanding that the cost of getting into an NLU is not that much. Do you all agree with me, friends? How many of you agree? Can I get messages? So Mayank, Mudit, Nupur, Khushbu, many students are participating. Perfect. So Solanki Patel agrees with me. So does Asrar. Excellent, friends. Now let me come to the benefit part. Don't just blindly take my word for it. Just use some authentic websites available on the internet today and try to find out, friends, what are the packages that NLU graduates command in the market as compared to the average package that IITians get. You'll be surprised to know that the average package that NLU graduates get in India is, friends, far more than the IITians even. Therefore, friends, the cost of getting into these NLUs, the pain that is required, the effort that is required to crack the common law admission test is comparatively low. The benefit is tremendous, right? And therefore, the cost benefit analysis definitely tilts in favor of cracking CLAT and getting to study for the next 5 years in one of these amazing law schools known as national law universities. I hope it is clear to each and every one of you. Now, friends, now that I have told you all the benefits that I firsthand experienced, let me quickly tell you what this CLAT paper is all about. The first thing that comes to my mind that is very important for all of you to understand is that, friends, CLAT is an objective type paper, meaning thereby that you do not have to write any subjective answers. There are no essays involved that you have to write to get into one of the law schools. It is purely, friends, multiple choice questions having 4 options, A, B, C, and D. If you mark the right answer, you get +1. If, however, you mark the wrong option, there is negative marking as well. There is -0.25 for every wrong answer. Total questions, any idea? Anyone knows how many total questions are there? Come on, friends, let's make your Sunday super productive. Interact. Oh, wow. Nishant, Aarti, Amita, Jasleen, so many of you. It's good to know that all of you are aware that 150 objective type questions are asked in the CLAT paper. Excellent, friends. And what about time? Are they just trying to test your knowledge, or are they also trying to test whether you are able to manage your time effectively or not? So you all are correct. Gauri, Aarti, Suhavni, the time is, friends, comparatively less as compared to the number of questions. There are 120 minutes. It's a 2-hour paper. Therefore, friends, every single minute of the paper, you have to attempt more than 1 question. Don't worry, I will be letting you talk to some of the students who have written and cracked this exam just last year, and they will be in a much better position to guide you. but just first try to understand what are the different topics, what are the different components that are there and that are part of the CLAT paper. So friends, there are 5 subjects that you need to ace in order to crack the common law admission test. Trust me, friends, it might sound a little intimidating, but as the name of the institute says, possible. Cracking CLAT is very much possible. It is not difficult. It is not impossible. Just some consistency, just the right guidance at the right time, a lot of practice in the form of mocks, and friends, you will be able to crack this paper. Now, there are various components. The first question that I want to ask you, that it's been roughly half an hour or so, or 20 minutes or so, since I've been telling you all about law as a career. Can you all tell me that this talk that I have given to you primarily in English, were you able to easily comprehend it, friends? Were you able to understand it? Or did it go above your head like a bouncer? So Madhav Solanki, oh my God, everyone says, yes, sir, we are definitely understanding this. So friends, let me congratulate you once again. They say that well begun is half done. If you are comfortable in English, then friends, trust me, cracking the CLAT is a cakewalk for you. Why I say so? Because friends, English, according to me, forms the backbone of this paper. The entire paper is in English. The entire paper is, friends, reading passage based. Meaning thereby that to attempt any question, you have to do a lot of reading beforehand. But since you all are comfortable in doing that, little polishing of your English skills, a little polishing of, friends, your reading ability, of your reading comprehension skills will definitely help you crack this paper very, very easily. Now, I per se, friends, teach you all legal reasoning and general knowledge at Clat Possible. So I'll deal with those components first. And let me tell you, friends, these 2 components, general knowledge and current affairs and legal reasoning, they form 25% weightage each. Meaning thereby roughly 37 to 38 questions of legal will be there, and 37 to 38 questions of, friends, GK would also be there. Now, friends, coming to the GK first. It is not exactly static GK, neither it is, friends, exactly current affairs. It's a fine balance of the 2, meaning thereby that current affairs that are in news like Taliban. How many of you know about Taliban? How many of you know about Taliban, friends? Afghanistan. Olympics. How many of you follow sports? Olympics, Australian Open. So friends, all these things, they are current affairs, and things related to these that form static GK also become important. Let me give you a very, very, very effective example. This year, friends, 2022, we all are Indians in this conclave today. We all are proud Indians. Why, friends? 75 years we'll be completing of our independence. And to celebrate it in a very elaborate manner, the government of India has started Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav. Now, friends, this is a scheme of the government literally to eulogize the freedom struggle and the efforts of our freedom fighters who helped secure independence for you and I, जो कि आज भी हम enjoy कर रहे हैं. Now, friends, this is what? This is current affairs. But this Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav began on 12th March 2021, and this day is very significant historically because on this very day, Dandi March started in 1930 in Gujarat by Mahatma Gandhi. So therefore, friends, the important news that is current affairs, that is important. Along with it, static GK becomes important. Similarly, friends, when we come to legal reasoning, there will be passages of roughly 450 words. Based on this passage, you'll be asked to answer roughly 5 questions. In these passages, friends, there would be a principle given, a legal principle, meaning thereby that you do not have to be well versed with the law beforehand. You do not need prior knowledge of law. Though, however, friends, if you get acquainted with law by preparing with Clat Possible, you will definitely have the edge to know the principle beforehand and then apply that principle in the facts and answer the question accordingly. Yani ki, friends, legal reasoning is nothing but, friends, what I told you, law is nothing but common sense. If you are a reasonable person with basic common sense, cracking these 2 subjects will not be difficult for any of you. Now friends, coming to maths part. Just a second. Now friends, coming to the mathematics part, I would like to ask all of you, how many of you get intimidated by the word maths? Trust me, either you are too good at maths or sometimes you are scared of maths. Honey says I am intimidated because of maths. Okay, Nupur says I don't like maths. Now there is a good news for you. Even if you don't like maths, does it mean that you will give up on your dream to get into some of the best law schools of India? The answer is no, friends. The answer is no. Why I say so? Because friends, out of these 150 questions, hardly 10% questions, that is only 15 questions, would be from maths, friends. And when I say this, the maths also is not going to be trigonometry maths. It is, nobody is going to ask you sine theta, tan theta, cos theta, questions like that. Nobody is going to ask you algebraic questions. A plus B the whole square is equal to what? What is going to be asked from you is, friends, basic maths, 10th level maths, arithmetic maths, questions based on averages, ratio, proportion, very, very easy maths, which friends you all can conquer provided you practice regularly and provided you write loads and loads of mocks with CP. Now, two more sections are there, friends, logical reasoning as well as maths. And I have with me the founder of Clat Possible, Dr. Surbhi Modi Sahai, who is, friends, an alumni of the Hindu College, and ma'am has very generously spared her Sunday morning time to enable all of you to understand better what Clat is all about. I request Dr. Surbhi ma'am to please tell the students about English and logical reasoning.
Hi, thank you so much, Nikhil. If you can you stop your screen share, and thank you. So thank you so much, Nikhil. That session on CLAT, about CLAT, and the engagement exercise with all the students was very, very very vivacious, and I liked how all the students participated. So I'll move on to English at this point, and the reasoning section, and then I will come back and give you some more perspective on what's happening latest on the exam scenes, entrance exam scenes, right? So Nikhil has already spent a lot of time telling you about the fact that this paper is basically a reading-based paper, and this paper will be in the English language, right? Not just the English section, but logical reasoning, legal reasoning, even GK will have reading-based passages. So the CLAT paper is now going to be entirely a paper on reading, where removing DI section, which is the application math section, every other section will be reading-based. So that is almost 120 questions. Let's remove the 32 questions from GK also, assuming that, even if you do not read the passage, you have learned up everything. The remainder sections will be based on reading up and problem solving and working with options. So I can reduce the CLAT and AILET exams to these three things. Now, what do we need in order to do this better? In order to do this better, let me take you to what is this about reading. So there is a passage around 450 to 550 words approximately this is the length of the passage in all the sections. You read this passage and then you are asked questions on this passage. Now, in reading comprehension, critical reasoning, legal reasoning, the questions you are asked on the passage may require certain skill areas. So these questions require problem solving for which you are taught those skills or fundamentals in our classrooms. You know, what are these skills and fundamentals that you are taught? For example, in reading comprehension, we teach you in detail about what is central theme or main idea of the passage, what is the tone of the author, what is the style of the passage, right? How to answer these questions, what is inference. Some of you may know these words, some of you may probably not know these words. So these are the skills needed for the RC section. Similarly, for the CR section, you have to know right from the beginning what is an argument, how to analyze an argument, then what is the assumption made by the author, how to strengthen or weaken this argument, what is the best way to strengthen, weaken, what is the flaw in the argument, which takes us to flaws in reasoning. So these are the problem solving areas after you have finished that portion of reading. So you have classes, 6 classes in RC for fundamentals, where you have main idea class, tones class, we teach you types of questions class, inference class, move on to critical reasoning, which is a part of logical reasoning in the paper, where you have classes on analyzing the argument, how to answer questions based on an argument, which is strengthen or weaken the argument, what are the flaws in reasoning. So these are the fundamental skills which you use in order to solve questions asked on the passage. Similarly, as Nikhil already mentioned in legal reasoning, you move on to tort law. So we teach you basics of tort law. So do not confuse. You are not expected to know these laws. You're not expected to know the details of this. You are just expected to be able to read the principle well and use it for the fact situation given to you. So can you read the principle without knowing legal? Yes, you can. But remember, in Nikhil's part of the speech, he mentioned something about timing. So is it possible for you not to exactly know main idea or not to exactly know how to strengthen a question and still be able to do it? Yes. I will be lying if I say that you need to really do these fundamental classes. But knowing this makes you more confident. It helps you waste less time. It helps you gain better accuracy because there are common traps in the options. So which is the last part, working with the options. So this was again told to you. Most Indian exams, in fact, to my knowledge, all Indian exams operate on 4 options. Most US exams operate on 5 options. So the 4 option exams, all undergrad and postgrad exams have 4 options. Naturally, if there are 4 options here, there will almost always be 2 options that are very similar. This is where your fundamental classes come into picture, because 2 options are very wayward. Anyone who has done their schooling properly will be able to eliminate those 2 options. But the other 2 options are close. Now, this is where your classroom training, your fundamental knowledge comes into play, because you are already informed about the close option. You are already informed about the trap that you are going to face when you start working. Right? Now, as I said, without those fundamental classes, also you will be able to answer fairly well many questions, but you will keep falling for these traps because maybe you are not aware of them. So in a classroom training atmosphere, not only are you taught fundamentals, in fact, more than the teaching time is the practice time where you are given these traps again and again in the mock tests, we have section tests, we have topic tests. So you're given all of that in these tests, and the test analysis, we keep telling you, you fell for the trap. No, this is not the correct answer. And the training helps you reduce the number of hours taken to solve the paper. Trust me, all of you, most of you must be 90%ers in your 10th. Some of you may be 90%ers in your 12th if you have already given your class 12th exam. So yes, you will be able to solve the CLAT paper, but the challenge will be to solve it in 2 hours. So no, it's not that I'm saying without classes, without our classes, you will not pass or whatever. But with our classes, you will get better scores. You will be able to solve the paper well in time because you will be aware of what you are about to read. You will recognize question types from the classroom lectures. You will recognize common traps. And with enough practice, you will be able to avoid the blunders that you keep on making otherwise. Not to mention, classroom offers better peer engagement. You are aware what your peers are doing, your colleagues are doing. You are a part of this ecosystem where others are also preparing. So there are many days when you are not motivated, but the class, the teacher engagement, the doubt sessions or your colleagues, they push you forward. I'm sure this happens with you all the time. There are many days you are not motivated to work. Let me know if this happens with you. Are you motivated to work all days of the week, every day, every week, every month? So on those low days, it's always so much better to be a part of a community. And this community keeps you engaged. They give you more information. Also, this community gives you lots of trashy information as well. Lots of fake news is also keeps traveling. And you know then what happens when you get fake news. You know that your mentors, I'm there, Nikhil is here, and there are so many very, very engaging mentors over here at Clat Possible, veteran mentors, where you come back and say, okay, is this true? Right? So this whole community, this whole ecosystem that is given is something that drives you. In fact, we have a lovely panel of our past pupils today. Some of them are working, some of them are in first year, we have one in fourth year. And these people will talk about the same community. They were in school like you, confused, bright children, but you know what worked for them, their low days. So that's why we got this very engaging panel, fresh from law schools and some fresh from their working units. And you know, they are so nice. They keep sparing their Sundays to talk to all of you. Nikhil will be introducing them to you shortly. And these bright people, young people, will tell you what it is like, what was it like when they were preparing, what was it like when they were in law school. Nikhil himself is a fresh, he's so much younger to me, so I keep thinking he's just fresh out of law school, though it has been some time now. But, he has taken to teaching. He comes from this very illustrious family of teachers. His mother is such an honored and awarded teacher in the UT of Chandigarh. So he has opted to teach, and taken to academics, helping young people. I have opted to teach, and so many other people you will meet in the Clat Possible ecosystem, where we are choosing to teach, to be in academics, to help young minds such as you achieve your dreams. So lots of questions will be answered on that panel, but just going before that, let me finish this. So the last thing is working with options. Multiple choice question papers are option based, they are not writing based. Now, many of you might think that ticking a correct option is so much easier than writing an answer. Is there someone who thinks like that? What do you think? Do you think ticking options is so much easier than writing an answer? So I agree, some of you may take to it like fish to water. Fish, you understand this phrase, fish to water, that you will be very comfortable with it. But trust me, more often than not, you are rudely surprised when you work with ticking options because you realize it is so much more difficult. Looking at options makes it so difficult for you to choose. You think both are correct because options are cleverly devised to create that mirage, you understand? An illusion of the fact that no, this is correct when it would be wrong. So with options, there are 100 times more chances of self-doubt than in writing answers. Also in writing answers for board exams, you always get some benefit. Half is correct, half is incorrect, you still get some marks. In options, it is completely in or completely out situation. You may be correct till the last step, but in the last you mark the incorrect answer. Nobody is there to check your rough work. Am I right, guys? At least in board exams, you submit your rough work. They give you some benefit of doubt. But in options, you are either wholly in or wholly out. So working with options, I have put as number 3, which is again not number 3 in position. It is equally important to roll up and come to the correct option, color the OMR properly. This is a paper pen based test, and then move to the next thing. So the steps involved right from the beginning. First step of reading. After reading, the problem solving, this is where you work with us very, very closely. And after this, you work with us very closely here, because with lots and lots of practice, for some of you with months of practice, you will start getting comfortable here. Right? With mocks, you'll probably start with getting, in, let's say, incorrects. You get, your first mock could be, like a 40 on 150. Then you come and realize, and slowly you build it up to 70 or 80. Right? So this journey, now we are going to talk about this in detail tomorrow and day after in our demo classes. Tomorrow you will have a demo class with Nikhil. He will take up legal, and maybe he might want to touch upon GK. I will let him decide. And after, I will talk about English and reasoning. So all the 4 sections we will be covering in our demo classes tomorrow and day after. Karan is here. He'll probably share with you the demo class link. So would you be interested? So that's the demo class link, as you can see. So do register for the demo class. I've also sent in a poll question. If you are interested in the demo class, do say yes in our polls. Lovely. Now, this was so far till here. What I wanted to tell you was give you a little more perspective that you are chosen to prepare for CLAT. Have you all heard the latest news on the CUCET exam announcement? It is the Central University's common entrance test. Now, because you are, have you heard about it? Have you heard about the CUCET exam? Now, when you start preparing for the CLAT exam, the CUCET exam is a 2-hour exam where half the time you will be writing the, the aptitude training, the test, and the other half will be domain test. Now, all those students who are preparing for CLAT and other such entrance exams have a natural advantage in CUCET because the aptitude test has the same skills. You will have a test in English, test in reasoning, and test in maths, which is going to be similar to what you are doing over here. So you don't have to prepare extra for the CUCET exam. You may just have to take a few mock tests, which we will be giving you because we are also preparing students now for CUCET. Because you are writing your board exams, you will have domain knowledge. It will be a very basic domain knowledge test. The level of the domain knowledge test, everything is still not very clear because they are trying to map different boards and see what type of domain knowledge test they have to create, because all of you come from different board exams. Some of you are CBSE, some of you are ISC, some of you are writing state boards, right? So this is one perspective I wanted to give you. But you rest assured, if you also choose to take CUCT exam for other central universities, which you might want to apply to, you will do extremely well. Because those papers are going to be much less difficult than the CLAT paper that you're preparing for. Some of you may still not be decided. How many of you are still not decided on CLAT and what you want to do? Quickly, let me know in the chat box. Suhavni Kaur is still not decided. Who else is still not decided? Unnati is not decided whether you want to take up law or anything else. Shwetangi is also not decided. No problem. Maybe many of our viewers on YouTube also are not decided. Right? So this is about CLAT that I'm talking of. Now, let me tell you one thing, guys. Those who are not decided, isn't it a wonderful thing that you are preparing for an aptitude test and now the government has announced another aptitude test for central universities? Would you agree? So even if you are not decided, you can still write the CUCET and look for other colleges. Would you agree or not agree? So even when not decided, this preparation is going to help you. Not just the CLAT and CUCET. You can take all exams that have aptitude training, whether it is India or abroad. So we have now, like we train for CLAT is great. We are now training for CUCET as well. And as I said, you are preparing for CLAT. You don't need any extra training for CUCET, except for the mocks and all, which you can always sign up for at our centers. Other than this, there are other undergraduate options, not just in India, but in the UK. US does not have the undergrad law program. You have to be a graduate to be able to do law from the US. So UK has an undergrad law program similar to that of India, and that exam is known as the LNAT exam. So if some of you want to expand to the UK and keep that in picture, we have a webinar on SAT under our vertical SAT Possible LNAT, which you can attend. The link for that I will ask Karan to share with you. So the idea is that with the same preparation, you can take several exams. If you are interested in a counseling session to get more clarity on which exam to take, then also you can leave your name and number in the chat box and my team will call you and fix up a counseling session for you. But the good news is, with the same preparation, you can undertake many exams. At least in India, you can take up CUCET, you can take up IPM. We have IPM also training, and all you need is extra mocks for those exams, but the preparation will be largely the same. If you are looking at law abroad, UK is a destination for undergrad, again with the same preparation. They don't have maths, they don't have DI, they don't have legal, they don't have GK. It's only based on reasoning. So you can again come up on 13th and do that webinar to get more clarity. So you don't have to change anything in your preparation for CLAT. You just have to add some more mock test series of different other exams if you are confused. So confusion is not a bad thing. Not being prepared is a bad thing. Can you repeat this after me? Can you write it in the chat box? Confusion is not a bad thing. not being prepared is. So if you are 90% sure of CLAT, prepare for it. Along the way, if you feel you want to take other exams, the preparation is the same. You just need to be a little alert for those exam dates, and you need to probably take a few tests. And you have all your options in front of you. So in your situation, confusion is not a bad thing. Yes, if the confusion is between IIT and CLAT, then maybe it is very wide. There is like a huge bay, there. Right? It's like very, very wide. Maybe there you have to do too many things to balance. So in that situation, it's best that you sign up for one-on-one counseling with us. All those who want to sign up for one-on-one counseling with us, will you drop your name, number, and email ID in the chat box? Today, I will not talk about the UK because we are doing that webinar on 13th. The webinar link is in the chat box. Please sign up. All right. So I hope there is no one confused between medical and CLAT and IIT and CLAT. Then you really need intervention from a counselor to help you decide on one, because these are two widespread things. Great. So I can see many of you are putting in your names, numbers, and email ID for the one-on-one counseling. So we will share with you one-on-one counseling link. Right? All those who are 100% sure of CLAT, now you give me a thumbs up. Those who are not are giving me their names, numbers for counseling. Those who are 100% sure of CLAT, please give me a thumbs up. Great. Someone's thumbs look like question marks. So I hope it was a thumb and not a question mark. All right. So you have something amazing ahead of you. Now you're going to interact. Those who are 100% sure of CLAT, I'm going to now bring in my panel, the star panel for today. These very bright, super achiever kids, they are grown-ups now, but I met them when they were just kids like you. So I don't know whether they like being called kids at all, because some of them are working, they're earning so much money, they can donate some to Clat Possible. Am I right, Jyotsna, Divyansh? So
sure, ma'am.
Yes, so these are the earning guys here. They will talk about what they are doing after law, so as to motivate all of you, and especially those who are 100% sure of the CLAT option and going into law schools. And we have some very bright law school students who will also then be earning lots of money and will give some nice donations to their old coaching institute. Okay, so I've asked for donations on camera. Now they will do it. Okay. So I'm going to get this in. Nikhil, can we have you back and introduce our panel? Because maximum students are confident about the CLAT paper, and I really don't want them to lose any more opportunity to listen into these young people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it was amazing the way with which all of you friends have showed your interest for the demo class. Roughly, I think 99% of you were interested in the demo class, first of all. So a big thumbs up to everyone. I hope all of you have registered for it, because Surbhi ma'am and we will be taking the demo class for all of you. It will give you a quick insight into what Clat Possible offers and how you also can be on the other side of this Zoom call very soon. So now it's time to introduce students of Clat Possible who have, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce these juniors of mine. And there are two things common in between them and me. One is that we all belong to the NLU family. And the second is that we all belong to the Clat Possible family. Yes, friends, they all were Clat Possible students. They still are Clat Possible students. like Subhi ma'am said, that we provide an ecosystem. So it's more like a family setup that you enter into, where all your end-to-end needs are catered to. So first with us, friends, today is Jyotsna Singh. Hello, hi Jyotsna. Friends, Jyotsna secured an All India rank of 44 in CLAT 2015. She went on to study from the best law school of India, NLSIU Bangalore. In short, National Law School, Bangalore. And friends, today she is practicing in general corporate practice area. And friends, she is working with the best, one of the best tier 1 law firms of India, that is Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas. I welcome you, Jyotsna. Next, friends, with us today is another CPN, a young achiever, Divyansh, who is, friends, a graduate from the very prestigious National Law University, Delhi. He is working with another tier 1 law firm of India, friends, that is Khaitan and Company. I welcome you, Divyansh Joshi. Next with us is, friends, a 2018 CLAT All India rank 49 achiever, Shivangi Mishra. She is, friends, currently a 4th year student at NLSIU Bangalore, again the best law school in India. So I welcome you, Shivangi. Friends, let me quickly tell you that Shivangi was a Breeze Weekend program student at CP Lucknow. And I'm sure most of these students are from Lucknow itself. While they'll be taking your questions or telling you more about themselves and the CLAT journey, they'll be introducing and they'll be telling about more facets of this amazing journey. Next with us, friends, is Ananya Tangri. She is, friends, a 1st year student at NLS Bangalore, and she secured an amazing All India rank of 28 in CLAT 2021. So I'm assuming that she has just graduated into her 2nd semester now, and she is fresh at the best law school of India. She is also here with us. And finally, friends, we have Shelly Sinha. Now, Shelly, friends, is from the city beautiful Chandigarh. So I am also from Chandigarh, and Shelly is also my student from Chandigarh. She is a 1st year student at NLS Bangalore. And friends, she secured an All India rank of 51 in CLAT 2021. Along with it, friends, she also was able to crack the All India Law Entrance Test. That is the exam that you write to get admission into NLU Delhi. In that AILET, she secured an All India rank of 46. She went on to study at NLS Bangalore. I welcome all the panelists to this conclave, and I hope that the students will tremendously benefit from each and every one of you.
So may I request all our panelists to please switch on their cameras and mics before and while we wait for them to come up. There are questions. I think I should have announced it only in my speech. So I hope all those who are in class 11th, you know that you will have to write your CLAT paper in December. Do you know that the 23 exam is happening in December 2022? So those who do not know, please understand that your exam, instead of happening in May 23, is happening in December 22. The exam will not happen twice. It has just been preponed to December. Now, do you all know this piece of news? So we have started a batch, or we are starting a batch on 12th February for all the class 11 students who are preparing for CLAT 23, which is happening in December 22. So you are all, if you are looking at the December CLAT, I advise you to come for the demo sessions tomorrow and day after, and then register for the 12th February batch and start your preparation straight away. Now, all those students who are writing the May 22 exam, those who are in class 12th, you will also be attending the demo session tomorrow. We will do orientation for all the subjects, and your batch is in fact the one which is starting from today itself, from tomorrow itself. So when you come for the demo session tomorrow, you will sign up for the batch which starts from Monday. This is our crash course batch known as the BOLT program, where your syllabus will be finished in the next 2 months for the May 22 paper. Both the demos are online. The demo class link has been shared. So I request you to hurry up and start your preparation. All those who are starting their preparation, if there are any of you in class 10th, we will be starting your batches for CLAT 2024 after your board exams, around end of April or beginning of May. So where are the class 10 students? Any class 10 students? Great. So as soon as you finish your class 10th exams, you have to get in touch with us. Your batches will begin in April, end of April, beginning of May, depending on the board exam schedule once we get to know it. Tomorrow's class is 5 to 6 p.m. in the evening, and day after also same link, same time. All right. So I'm hoping to see some of you on camera, guys. I know it's a Sunday, so but I will not compel you to come on camera. It's just that I wish I could see all those nice faces. So we have the first years, Ananya and Shelly, who have just written their CLAT exam, right? So they will talk about their CLAT journey. But first, let me get to Jyotsna and Divyansh. Jyotsna and Divyansh are working. Both of them are corporate lawyers in tier 1 law firms. I think they have a very hectic lifestyle and schedule because they are ones who are working, and maybe that's why they are very reluctant to get on camera. I think I have to change my view. Is it? Let me come to gallery view. Yes, so I can see everyone now. Sorry, my bad. So Jyotsna, Divyansh, let's begin with any of you, or at this point in time, can we let our very young school-going friends today here know what it is to be a law graduate, and are you doing your dream jobs? Are you excited? What kind of work are you doing? And maybe after you talk about your jobs, you could help them understand what other career options are there. We reserved it for you all to discuss about it. Maybe Shivangi now can talk about the different firms that are coming to campus. So maybe we can start from the very basic. What is our campus placement? How it works? Is it easy? Do you start working immediately? Are jobs easy? And what are the various things they can do in this order? Maybe you start with your experience and then what other friends are doing. Is it necessary to become a lawyer? So, these are probably questions that are coming up in their heads.
Divyansh, do you want to commence or should I?
No, you go, Jyotsna, then Divyansh can join in whenever, he has something to add, and then we can go straight to him and he can talk about his.
Sure. So the first thing that I should say is that I think world is your oyster soon after you graduate. And that is because, like we've seen throughout this session, law equips you with these vital skills. Critical reasoning, I believe, is one of the most important skills that anyone can possess, because that is something that is required across sectors. I'm not just talking about law. It's important to law, but even if you are considering other streams in life, then critical reasoning is something that a law degree equips you with. So that's something that I'm beginning to appreciate as a recent law graduate. Other than that, I know that law is financially rewarding. So that satisfaction and that safety net, especially in a situation where you see your other peers, perhaps, it's easier, I think. And that way, like, it's a very rewarding profession. it's hard work, like it requires hard work, but I think it kind of makes up for the kind of hard work also that it's as expected of you. Having said that, I think and Divyansh can perhaps pitch in here. We are living in this age of Shark Tank. So if you view it from that lens, then I believe that the kind of roles that Divyansh and I are currently working in, they are very relevant, because anywhere, if there is a merger and acquisition transaction happening, you need a lawyer to facilitate that entire, transaction. So since entrepreneurship and Shark Tank is becoming like commonplace lingo, I think law is also the service that is becoming more mainstream with such in such a ambience. So Divyansh, would you want to introduce them to what other practice areas exist?
Sure. So firstly, ma'am, I like to add that, as we grow up, we like more and more being referred to as kids. So let's just clear that out first. The other thing with respect to careers and all, as Jyotsna mentioned, so law is an enabling field. Like, it's not something that will restrict you from pursuing anything that you want to pursue. Sure, it will take up some of your time, but at the end of the day, what a law school will prepare you for is also how to deal with the world, because in 5 years, in your internships and all of these things, you're dealing with lawyers who are some of the very smart people in these fields, and you have to make sure that you portray yourself or put your best foot forward in front of them and make sure that they realize that you have some sort of potential. So that realization, that all-round development of your persona, that is something that comes along with a law school or after graduating from a law school. And I believe that is something which becomes very important no matter what you're looking forward to in your life. That said, if you want to look at specifically career options that become available to you once you are done with law, for example, Jyotsna and I are corporate lawyers, right? We're working for a corporate firm. She's working for Shardula Jan Mangal Das, and I'm with Khetan, which, just to clarify, is not the Bankiwali company. It's a law firm. And so that is one option, which definitely pays well. And there are quite a few law firms, right? And there are tiers across. There's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then there are boutique law firms. So you always have options of sitting through your college placement and getting into these places. And while it may seem very tough when you are inside and when you're sitting for your interviews, it is, I think, comparatively less tougher when you compare it to maybe going for an engineering degree or something, because due to the simple fact that there's so much satiation in those fields, whereas there is more opportunity because law is a growing field. And again, as Jyotsna mentioned, all these entrepreneurs that are coming up, all these companies that are coming up, these constantly require corporate lawyers, because let's say you have a company and I have a company and you want to take over my company. You need to know what are the wrong things that I've done so that you are not liable for those, right? For example, if I have not paid a fine and you take over my company, then you become liable to pay that fine. So to figure out those things, there are due diligences and stuff like that, which a corporate lawyer does, which sometimes are very interesting and sometimes not so interesting, right? A couple other interesting deals that, all these brand endorsement stuff that these, actors do, all of this is part of corporate law. You help getting them contracts. Then second option is obviously going for a dispute sort of thing, where you can start your own private practice. You can go argue in courts, which is again 10 times more interesting than corporate law, right? Although it does require something that comes from being in a law school, which is being able to speak at when in front of all these people, being able to put your points forward coherently and in a manner that the other person understands, because a lot of times the judges are not very patient as to what you are saying, because they have a lot of pile up of cases. So that's second option. The third option, Jyotsna, neither of us went for it, but this is one option that quite a few people after law school pursue, which is going for judiciary, right? Because once you do law, automatically preparing for judiciary becomes slightly easy. So the exam that is there, half of your stuff is already prepared because you've been doing that for the past 5 years, right? Additionally, I'll add to this is that if you're looking to prepare for UPSC, then you have a very good option in law because firstly, I'm, you're studying law for the past 5 years, right? You have a better understanding of polity, you have a better understanding of law, you have a better understanding of, analytical questions. You are prepared for, I'm not saying that you're prepared for the UPSC interview, but you're prepared to give an interview. You have that character or persona development that is already there, right? So, and again, some of the law schools, if you see, if you're not in the rat race for, corporate jobs or, jobs in firms or getting placements, you get a lot of time in your fourth and fifth year to prepare specifically for UPSC and these other competitive exams for, becoming a public servant sorts, right? So that's another option that you have. These are direct options from law. Then there are other options. For example, you can always go for an LLM, right? And once you, let's say you get an LLM from Harvard or Oxford or Cambridge or some places, then a lot of these foreign law firms open their gates to you and you have the option to work out of UK, let's say Herbert Smith Freehills, Allen and Overy, and all these places. Jyotsna, you want to add on to the list?
Yeah, just two more options that we can perhaps talk about. It's in-house and policy.
Yeah.
Because as a part of your law school curriculum, you will also be doing subjects which can help you build a career in policy research. So if that's something that you're inclined towards, sure, you can go ahead. And with transactional lawyering, usually the next step is that you go and you work for an in-house. It's a more organizational, like organization related role. But if you are keen, sure, like that, these are the other two options.
So thank you so much, Jyotsna and Divyansh, for touching upon so many, rather I should say, plethora of career opportunities that are available to law graduates in today's time. So there was a specific question from Khushi Sonar, which I just noted down. I'd like to take her question up. She has written, to become a judge, sir, do we have to become a lawyer first? So let me quickly tell you. The first and foremost thing, the prerequisite is that you have to be a law graduate in India to be able to explore and to be able to avail all these opportunities that Divyansh and Jyotsna just mentioned about. So whether, friends, it is litigation, whether it is the glamorous corporate life, whether it is the in-house counsel jobs, whether it is the judiciary stream, you have to be a law graduate first. And I'd just like to add upon a few other opportunities that are also available to law graduates. So I'm sure many of you have heard about Jaguar the car. So similarly, friends, Jag is another opportunity, but it's not the car maker company. It is Judge Advocate General. So you can also join the Indian Army and you'll be getting the same ranks as that of the officers. So you have to pass a physical test for that. There is an age limit, roughly 27. So by the time you are 22, 23, doing a 5-year integrated law from these NLUs will help you with the law, with becoming a law graduate. And then you have a good 3-4 years to prepare well for the JAG exam and pass the fitness test to become an officer in the army. Similarly, Divyansh touched upon so many other areas like UPSC. So UPSC is, you can say, law forms a very, very good sort of a bedrock or a foundation if you want to become a UPSC aspirant or a civil servant tomorrow. Because I feel, first of all, being a competition, you have to realize that UPSC needs a fallback option. So law graduate has a very, very comfortable fallback option. He has a very secure career in India. Secondly, as Divyansh mentioned, you get to study constitution in depth. And one of the most frequently asked questions are from polity. So if you know about the constitution, how the houses of the parliament work, how what's the structure of everything, what are fundamental rights, what are directive principles of state policy, you definitely have an edge over here. One last option that I think we all altogether missed, and that is very, very relevant and exciting in today's time, is that you can pursue a career in the field of academics also, in the field of teaching also. So while I was at NLU Jodhpur, a batchmate of mine, he is presently working as an associate professor in NALSAR, Hyderabad. Many of my batchmates, they are working in law schools like Jindal Global in Sonipat. So teaching is another option, friends. You can go on for your masters, as Divyansh mentioned, not just from abroad, but also from Indian universities. And thereafter, you can go on to train future lawyers, just like Dr. Surbhi ma'am and I am. So next, ma'am, should we bring on board Shivangi next?
Nikhil, may I just add one more option? So this
Yeah.
is again, like I mentioned, a law degree is an enabling course, right? So
Definitely.
you know that MBA options are always available even after you do a law degree, and that
Yeah.
experience counts for a lot. So a lot of lawyers, after doing couple of years of corporate work, do their MBA and go into very good positions and join, after their MBA, join very good companies at very good positions, and they are sought after because they have dealt with that sort of work, so they have that managerial experience. So that's another thing that's available.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So to
In
sum
fact,
it up, yes,
uh,
ma'am, you were saying something.
we had a student. In fact, my nephew who went to the NLU here, RMN NLU, and then went to IIM Shillong, and now he is working with the Tata Group. As of now, he is in their Bombay office looking after Titan and Tanishq both. So, so he had a complete shift in his profile. And it helped him since he was a lawyer, because many IIMs, not just IIMs, I think even if you go abroad and take a GMAT and want to study abroad, when you have had a legal education, it automatically lends diversity to the batch, So even with a low percentile in the CAT exam, they choose you over similar looking profiles of engineers and, other graduates. So they definitely want diversity in the group, and nothing to beat the diversity that a law student brings to the batch. And even at the time of hiring and placements, sometimes with a lesser CGPA, you end up getting the plush placements, because somehow the recruiter feels that your mind would be more logical. You are definitely more knowledgeable than most people. Knowing the law somehow lends a lot of advantages to your profile. So that's a good option of an MBA. In fact, a senior of mine, we used to invite him. In fact, we still would invite him. Is working with the Deutsche Bank, so he's an investment banker now. He went to NLSIU, way senior to all of you. In fact, you were probably in uniform when he was in NLSIU. So I was definitely in uniform. So I don't know, you were probably in liquid form, at least all of you. So he's in the Deutsche Bank now. He worked for many years in the corporate sector, legal corporate sector, but then eventually moved to Fin and is a banker. So imagine, the only thing that probably beats a lawyer is a banker. So that's what he's doing now, and a very, very important, powerful figure. He's looking after Asia, I think, sitting in Bombay. So lots of these options are available, and there are hundreds of things I could tell you about how other people I know are doing so many different things, which is true for any career option. You can quit your mainstream career and become a chef or a painter or a writer. All that is available even to law students. Lots of media houses recruit a lot of lawyers for various things. So media houses are another place. NGOs, UNO, and Jyotsna spoke about policy. So I think it's Jyotsna's batchmate only, Akshat Agarwal. He is with Vidhi. I don't know if he's still with Vidhi, but he was with Vidhi, and
gone to Harvard now, I think.
Yeah. he messaged me that he was looking at that. So he's there now, and even before you, I think a batch before you, or I don't know, Suranjan Shukla was with Vidhi, and he also then moved on, NLS guy again. So lots of NLS people, mostly my students I know, end up in policy and research and all of that. So, and they do a good job there. They send their papers to me, and I'm amazed at, my God, okay, this is unbelievable stuff. I just hope the government uses it more than I do, but never mind. Yes, Nikhil.
Even if we look at all the leaders, not just in India, but world. So like Divyansh said, I completely agree with him. Law is an enabling degree. So it will be, friends, who is watching this conclave today, let me assure you that graduating from these NLUs or top-notch law schools of India, it will help you become a well-rounded personality, whether it was Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation, whether Jawaharlal Nehru, the first prime minister of our Indian constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, whether you look at the contemporary leaders or some of the leaders who are part of the cabinet like Arun Jaitley ji, then the ex-president of India, Pranab Mukherjee, or friends, why just Indian examples? If we look at the American leaders, so Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, everyone is a lawyer first, and then they use the knowledge of the law to become leaders and lead the masses.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, if you were born in the US, you could have become the president. So
yes,
you're just a law degree away from becoming the president in the US, right? So that's actually very engaging, and I feel so happy looking at so many of you doing so well, and our next bright person and the next shining star, I'm looking forward to her placement, is Shivangi. I'm not sure what she wants to do. So Shivangi, let's talk about your journey into law schools. And Shivangi brings in another very good, this thing is because she was a science student and an engineering aspirant. So there are so many students here who said they were confused. And Shivangi came in after, I think, 1 year stint with engineering coaching. She changed schools so that she could pursue engineering coaching. So she continued science brilliantly, I know, because she got a great percentage in her class 12. But she really did ditch engineering for good and actually went on to one of the top law schools of the country. So Shivangi, let's start with your journey and your journey in law school. Give them an insight into law schools.
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So like ma'am said, after class 10th, I wasn't confused actually. I was quite clear that I wanted to be an engineer. And so I decided to do engineering, and 1 year into engineering coachings and like trying to make something out of rotational physics, I figured this is really not my thing. And that's when I tried to explore like what are the other options that I have. And from like the skill sets that like a lawyer requires, and from the skill sets that were like required for writing the CLAT exam, I decided to like pursue law. So I came to Clat Possible, and ever since that's been my course at Clat Possible. Life at law schools is particularly interesting, and let me tell you like why all of us are here is because not because like sure many of us want to go to colleges and want to become lawyers, but I think it's extremely important to go to a good college, and that comes from not just like the opportunities that you'll get once you have that brand name and once you have like connections with those faculty, but also because there's a lot of peer learning at these places. Like Jyotsna was my senior in law school, and she was my mentor at internships, and she's my mentor in life. And similarly, Divyansh, even though he wasn't at NLS, he was at NLU Delhi. Like I interned with his team at Khaitan, and I've like learned so much from him. So the idea of it is that you have so many people around you that, and NLS is one for that matter, like all law schools are, I think, a very humbling experience, because when you go there, you find people who are better than you at the things you thought you were best at. So you learn so much from people around you. And that experience is very important. Other than that, like there are so many other opportunities in law schools to do everything that you like even like if you're interested in entrepreneurship, so you have like committees for that. If you're interested in specifically like negotiations or something like that, you have more moot court opportunities. You have like if you're particularly interested in the upcoming field of law and technology, you have things that you can do over there. So, and apart from that, there is a vast group of people that actually pursue their hobbies. Like you have music, you have dance, you can do all of that at law schools. And because it's such a close community, I mean, these are friends that you make for life. So this is like mostly what all you can do at law school. I'm sure like colleges are reopening now, so the experience is going to be on campus. But yeah, like those are the opportunities that you have in law school. But I think one other thing that I wanted to add was, as much as you learn out of law school, I feel like it's a great unlearning experience because you meet people from all walks of life from across the country. And everyone is very like different in their own sense. And that, like when you come together in these places with like 60 people from different parts of the world, parts of the country and from the world, like we have people who have also come from like Mongolia and Nepal joining us at law schools. It teaches you a lot and you unlearn a lot of things that you grew up learning that may not have been the best positions in life. So I think it's a very enriching experience. I think Ananya and the others.
One quick question to you, Shivangi, before we move ahead to Ananya and Shelly. So, rank 49 in 2018. You were a CP student. I'm sure you must have worked really hard for it. Now that you are experiencing the life at NLS Bangalore, do you think that it is totally worth it? What do you feel about it?
I absolutely think it's totally worth it. But I also want to say that, I mean, like preparation for CLAT is just like a starter for college. College is way, way more intense, but it's also so much more challenging and exciting. So I definitely think it's worth it. And I'm going to say like it was really difficult to do it alongside like science. So it was like testing, but it was nothing compared to how much I learn at law school every day. So it's definitely worth it.
We were talking about the law school life and experience. In fact, if Jyotsna is around, I would like to bring her in. Jyotsna went on an exchange. So would you like to share that with the students, Jyotsna, what it was and, how you got this opportunity and why you took it up and if it added any value? Because, you had to also work hard to get some part of the money arranged for you to join this program.
So my exchange happened in this pre-pandemic world where life was easier. So I was one of the privileged ones to have had that opportunity. Unfortunately, Shivangi's batch, or say like batches below her or above her or whatever, they haven't been able to make use of this opportunity. So yeah, I went on exchange in my 5th year. I went to Queen Mary University of London, and it was a great time. Great both in the sense of academic experience and non-academic experience, because I was in London, and the kind of faculty that I was getting exposed to, the kind of subjects that I was getting exposed to, the conversations that we were having in classrooms, they were just exemplary. And that's something that only happened because our college had a tie-up with their university. And in our college, at least, the offerings of universities usually happen on the basis of ranks. So students who are higher ranked, they end up getting the choice of which college to choose for exchange. So that was it. Other than that, for my non-academic experience, I got to travel a lot. So I got the experience of being exposed to art. I was only talking about Divyansh, like about this with Divyansh yesterday. So that was another great takeaway from my and you know, it might look like, okay, it's just an added thing, but later on in life, when you're striking up a conversation with someone and you realize that you have such common interests, that's where these experiences actually count. So for me, exchange was totally worth it. I ended up working with CP for a bit to arrange for my finances. Rest, I just left it on my parents. So yeah, but I hope that I am able to give back to my parents now that I'm working. So yeah.
Thank you, Jyotsna. So let's move on to Shelly and Ananya in no specific order, whoever goes first. And they had this opportunity to be in college briefly, and hopefully they are going back very, very soon because most of the colleges and everywhere has opened. So well, you guys are the most recent hard workers for your exam, and you have really put in that kind of work. You have burned the midnight oil. I can say that for all of them because it's clear in my head. The whole journey with Shivangi, with Jyotsna also. Imagine, Jyotsna, I still remember your journey. It's so same with Divyansh. I remember all the great moments and all the heartbreak and tears with mock scores. It's been for every journey, and it's still so clear in my head. Even with the first batch that I taught, right up till Shelly and Ananya's batch, they are from the same batch, different cities. So that whole, I can specifically say the number of days they had bad scores and tears and the number of times they were happy and so much beyond the classroom experience. Uh, uh, some of our students are also here today. Of course, with the pandemic, classes are off and on, but with these people, at least, this was our world. Classes, then chit chat and something or the other happening all the time. So it's a whole it's like a family outside your own family. So same I think goes with college. You make such a lovely family, and as Shivangi said, Jyotsna is still her mentor, and probably she'll turn to Jyotsna every now and then for advice. And so similarly with Divyansh, they also meet here when they visit us. It's like a huge party all over again, and I look forward to meeting you this time as well. So it's so that's with law school. Now you have been there briefly, both of you, very young and extremely starry-eyed. Hopefully you will be able to engage with all your seniors here. So let's rephrase Nikhil's question. So at least for you all, once you saw your dream college, once you entered it, did it feel worth it?
Ananya, you want to say or should I?
No, you can begin. I'll add on to it.
Yeah. So yeah, as ma'am just said, NLS had been my dream college. Like I started off very late. So I started in October 2020 and my exam was to be held in May 2021. So I was already very nervous because I felt that I was starting off very, very late. And obviously my dream college was NLS, so I wasn't even going to get into NALSAR. So yeah, the first time I went to NLS, I had goosebumps all across. It's such a fulfilling experience because like it's something you had desired for so long. You have worked for so long, so hard, all the nights, all the days, and it has finally paid off. You're finally there. And it's not just being there, like Shivangi, they also mentioned, like when you go to a law school, because of the diversity there, like in my batch, like the present batch in which Ananya is also a part, we have students from 25 different states of India. And the amount of diversity they offer, the amount of knowledge they offer, you understand that you just had this notion that you are the best, but there's still a lot to learn, a lot to discover, and a lot to explore. Like, I cannot even say the first week at college, we had our exams, and the exams just went by because all the time we were talking on campus about things we haven't even wondered of. Like, there's so much to discuss, so much to discover, so much to think about. So law school, apart from being a dream come true or a good opportunity to explore what you wanted to do, it's also a very learning experience. And the amount of potential you gain by being in a law school, the amount of potential you gain by being in a good college is actually worth it. So yeah, it's a very fulfilling experience. Like you feel you're something. Yeah, and Ananya can take over.
Yeah, Shelly is absolutely right about that. I loved being in college. I do not like being at home again. I did not look forward to this vacation that we get between trimesters. And yeah, it's absolutely a very humbling experience, as Shivangi said, because you go there and then everyone around you is so smart. It's like being smart is mainstream in NLS. Like everybody in my batch knows everything and everybody is just like studying all the time and stuff like that. So that's also something that you get to adjust to, and like you get to grow a lot because uh, it's like peer pressure but like in a good way, because people sort of push you into studying because everybody is studying, and then you learn a lot, yeah, like from your peers, because a lot of people in my batch are exploring so many internship opportunities already. Like we're in first year, we barely know anything about law, and there are still people who are getting their papers published and this and that. So it's a very nice learning experience being in a good college. Yeah.
Yes, so once you guys landed in college, it was so nice. I saw your pictures on Instagram. Some of you tagged me. I think both of you tagged me, or you sent me pictures on WhatsApp or something or the other. And I was like, thank God. It felt like a promise that I had broken, that you were not able to join campus. It felt so personal, but I was so happy that at least you saw the insight of the campus that you were working so hard for. So we already have questions on preparation, last 2 months, different NLUs. Let's take them up, preparation tips starting from whoever. And there is some question on lower NLUs. So any one of you, Jyotsna, Shivangi, Divyansh, you can answer if you would like to take this up. Is NLU Sonipat a good choice? And of course, we can take preparation questions, not scoring in test series and all in that order. So should we start with lower NLUs? Any thoughts on that? Whether students should join them? 2 questions on preparation tips, poor marks and scores is something that we can immediately take up. And all those who have questions, please put them in the chat box. And I'm sure these people will be very happy to answer. Our panelists will be very happy to answer. So is anyone going for lower NLU questions?
I'll take that up. Yeah, so basically, like I said, I think it's very important to go to a good college, not just because of the brand value that it offers and the opportunities that it gets you right out of college, but also because of the people around you that you're going to spend almost half a decade of your life with. And you're only going to go to college, like at least for most of us who like do not go for an LLM, which is not strictly required either for corporate law practices or for litigation. You're only going to go to college for 5 years once in your life. And for investing in those 5 years, I do think like making a good choice for choosing your own peers and your faculty and like the college that you want to go to, a brand name, is important, because that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life.
Any other thoughts? Lower NLUs? Divyansh.
So just to add on one thing that Shivangi mentioned, that you're investing 5 years in it. Firstly, I know it sounds a lot that you will be there for 5 years, but all of us right now look back and want to go back to those 5 years. So it's not something that you'll regret. The other thing is that, see, it's with any field, right? Whenever there is a new college, whenever there is a new company, you need to have contacts, you need to build up on that. So the only while I would still say go to an NLU rather than a local private college or anyone or any place. I still think that local NLUs are building. For example, sometime back, I think one of the lower NLUs, I won't even say lower NLU, but like a mid NLU, NLU Odisha, was not doing that well. But right now, if you see, they have been doing great, right? They've got good internships, they've got good placements, and all of these, right? So as and when these NLUs keep building, you will obviously keep getting these opportunities. But at the same time, let's say if you have to put in 50% effort while you're in NLS, you'll have to put in your 100% effort once you are in a lower law school, lower NLU, because it becomes incumbent more on you to prove yourself, right? That is something that is there once you go to a lower NLU or any other law college for that matter.
So there is another perspective that I'd like to share from my own personal experience. So back in 2010, when I cracked the CLAT and I got NLU Jodhpur, I had even secured admission in NLU Delhi at that time. But at that time, the first batch of NLU Delhi wasn't even passed out. It was a very, very new college. The campus looked like a ghost town. Obviously, I chose NLU Jodhpur because 8 to 10 batches of that college had already graduated. So no matter, there is no doubt about this, that the top colleges, they are really, really beneficial in your overall career growth, but you cannot dismiss a lower ranked NLU or a newly launched NLU just because they do not have any graduates right now or any alumni network right now. Like Divyansh said, that you will have to put in 100% of your effort if you are in some new NLU or if you are in some lower ranked NLU. But that, according to me, there are two perspectives. It's a good thing also. While being at the top NLU, you might end up being complacent. But when you are in some lower ranked NLU, you will put in your heart and soul. And friends, look today, like NLU Delhi, in just a short span of 10, 12 years or so, it has emerged as one of the best law schools in India. So there is no denying the fact that if you work really hard, if you get one of these top 5 law schools, then it is ideally the best thing that can happen to you. But doesn't mean if you have scored a little less and you are getting some lower NLU, if you work hard, you can definitely make it to Linklaters and Herbert Smith and other law firms, top law firms from that also. So another question that I had, Surbhi ma'am, was that Ashwini Kumar was asking which GK book should I refer to for the CLAT preparation. So I would like to share this with you, that since current affairs is being the focus area at present for CLAT, so there is a book GK Perfect, which is launched by Clat Possible. It has all the hot burning topics that are in news over the last 12 months. So you can purchase your copy of GK Perfect. It will definitely help you, Ashwini. And you can get in touch with Karan sir and other counselors. They will help you how you can secure your copy today.
So let's move on to the questions on the how to start the preparation. Anyone would like to take that up? If there is a question on how to start preparation, and then on last 3 months of preparation, and on rewriting the CLAT, because now the May CLAT will be followed by the 23 CLAT, which is happening in December. So I have been recommending students, since there's only a few months after which one has to get into the one, you are getting an opportunity to rewrite the paper. So supposing your May CLAT does not go well, it is worth it to redo the December CLAT, right? So so let's take these 3 questions, and then if there's something else, we will follow that up. So preparation starting, and there was a question on someone who's in class 11th and who has science. So, is that how to balance school and the preparation?
I can take up the preparation one. Balance with school, I think someone else can take up, because I had dropped a year for this preparation. So firstly, with respect to preparation, I reminded of a funny incident that happened. So I had for the first time given CLAT without any coaching, without any preparation. And I saw the paper. I was like, this is a simple paper. I'll crack it. What is this English? And, I'll read it and go there. And maths, though I'm a science student preparing for IIT, whatnot. I went there and I sat, and there was this guy in front of me, friendly guy, talked to me a few minutes, and then he turns around and says, first time there, I'm like, And he's like, कोई नहीं, अगली बार Clat Possible join कर लेना, तब निकल जाएगा. And we haven't started the paper yet, right? So I was like, he's joking with me. What? And by the end of it, I realized the importance. So it wasn't like I wasn't able to solve the questions. I was, but I was spending 5 minutes, 7 minutes on one maths question. I will get the answer, but how do you get it quickly? Because it's all about time. Solving these papers on time is the main thing. You can go ahead, read the entire legal principle and understand how it applies, but it will never help you if you're unless and until you're able to do it within that specified time limit, right? So I think the first thing that people come to me and tell me, we want our even parents have started coming up now, that we want our kids to go into law schools and all. The first thing I tell them is you need to join a coaching. And personally, I think the results and everything speaks for itself. Clat Possible is a place to go, right? That's one thing. Once you join Clat Possible, then you need to make sure that this is something that ma'am had constantly and told us every time we were there, asking how to improve, how to improve. You have to do reviews of what you're doing, right? For example, there are these mocks that will be conducted. You will be giving tests. You will be giving a lot of section tests. You will be giving a lot of chapter tests. All of these tests, once you get your results, you need to figure out where you went wrong, what answer you got wrong, and stuff like that. Before that, if you ask me how to begin your preparation, I think it's just about firstly getting to know the chapter. The fact that you are here in a law conclave, getting to know about this, your preparation has already started to some extent, right? And maybe after that, once you've joined the coaching, all the teachers will guide you with respect to specific chapters and all. So that will help.
Would anyone like to add to it?
I can add, perhaps. So I think I had a strategy. So what I used to do is I first of all identified what my strengths were. So for example, English was my strength, GK was my strength. I'm just talking about the segments that you call your strengths and segments that you call your weaknesses. Then you know that which area it is that you have to, put in more effort. So the end goal should be that it is your strengths that will help you get an edge over others, and your weaknesses should become so like they shouldn't be weaknesses anymore. You should have worked enough on them so that they kind of compensate for any other failure. I don't know if this approach will work for everyone, but at least it worked for me. So what I did was I read a lot because I generally like reading a lot. So I worked, like I did a lot of mocks. I knew GK answers by heart by the end of like my 1 year of preparation. And my maths was like, that was my weakness. But I did enough to secure, say, like an average mark there. I got some 14, I think, or 13 out of 20 at that time. But that was enough for me to be able to do decently well in that segment. And my other strengths kind of, helped me sail through. So that's one thing that you can perhaps try doing.
Something that I would like to add to that is that solving sheets, like after doing your fundamentals, you get sheets to solve, right? To test yourself, how well you've understood something. Now, solving sheets is great because you get to take the sheet home. You get like 1 hour, 2 hours in class to solve a sheet. But the thing is, when you test that same knowledge in a mock, that's extremely different because you have to, first of all, solve all the sections together. So then there is the exam pressure of sitting for 2 hours and without like any kind of distraction, you have to solve the entire paper in 2 hours. And then you also get very less time to solve all questions. As Nikhil sir said, there are 150 questions and 120 minutes to do them. So on an average, you have less than a minute for questions, right? And these are reading heavy questions as well. So you really have to work on your speed, and you really need to work on how to solve everything together, all 4 or 5 sections together, one after the other. So that is something. So basically, test taking is something that really needs to be figured out. That is something that I had a problem with. Like, I could solve sheets separately, but when it came time to give a mock, it was very difficult to get the mock right. So that's probably something I wanted to add.
So there is a question. There was a question on mocks and critical reasoning, especially. So critical reasoning has come up in a big way once the exam pattern changed from CLAT 2020. So Shelley, do you want to take it up, because you went from having CR as a section you were not able to score in, though you were good with English and reading, to a section that probably became your strength. You solved hundreds of questions in CR later on. So how did you work on that? And also there was a question on, school and this thing. So maybe you can take these questions.
Yes, ma'am, sure. So I was already going to mention CR before you started off. So as Josna mentioned, that you should work on your weakness as well, because when I started my preparation, one thing Suti ma'am said to me, I still remember, was that CLAT is an exam you can never be sure of if you are completely prepared, because it has no fixed syllabus. So you cannot, take the cost of leaving a section as your weakness, because you cannot predict if that section comes up easy in the paper, and you cannot even do the basic questions. So when I started off my preparation, GK and CR were my weaknesses. And I still remember in the final paper, out of 29 questions, I attempted 26 in CR, and my accuracy was 100%. So CR, to be honest, as a section requires a lot of practice. So CP as an institute provides the purple books and the black books. The black books basically contain the basics, and the purple books is a practice book. So when I started my CR preparation, what I did was I just skimmed through the black book. I thought I was done with the basics, and I went on to the practice, because I felt that practice is important. But somehow I could not solve the questions. My questions were not cutting out correct. So I asked Surabhi ma'am, and she was like, do the black books at least twice or thrice, because until and unless you have your basics to your heart, you cannot attempt the questions. So initially I felt that why would theory in a practice-based section help me? But as soon as I started doing that, I understood that CR as a section requires you to analyze how to attempt the question. Like the way a question has to be approached is very important in CR. So it is very important that for a section like CR, you should be very clear with your basics, and then, hell amount of practice. I remember in the last 2 months on CR, I solved the entire 1000 GMAT questions, and my accuracy went on so high. Like CR questions were a cakewalk for me after that. So it's very important that you get very, very well done with your basics and then practice a lot for CR. Also, about managing school and boards was also something I heard from Suti ma'am again. She told me that don't try to fix both the things in your day schedule. Be very sure of what time you want to give to class and what time you want to give to school. So what ma'am suggested me and what I actually did was, all my time in my normal time period or normal months like October, November went to CLAT, and I prepared for my school only during my pre-boards. So a pre-board is a time when you should like focus more on your school and like do only GK or 1 or 2 sections of CLAT, something that is your weakness. Like you should not leave on your weakness or even a single day, because even a single day can cost a lot. So during your pre-boards and your school exams, just focus on your school. Be very thorough with the syllabus during that time. Do not take your pre-board or your school exams lightly. Many students, like I have been in contact with a lot of students, what they say is, can we just skip the pre-boards because we have CLAT to prepare for. And I just can't understand that pre-boards is the time you can prepare for your school exams. So take your pre-boards as a time to prepare very thoroughly for your school exams, and do not give time to school on the other days. Like your other days should be CLAT focused, and only your school exam should be your time for your school. That is it.
Right. I would like to add to managing boards and CLAT together, which is, I think, something that comes up a lot. So I did something very similar. So I started preparing for my boards 2 weeks, for my pre-boards, 2 weeks before my pre-boards. And I also gave all tests that happened in school very properly. Now, I did not prepare for them for like a really long period of time. So for example, if there's a test tomorrow, I would prepare for it very properly today. And I would keep my CLAT prep on the sidelines, right, on this particular day only. And when my tests are over, I will go back to CLAT preparation and I would just do CLAT, right? So and I also had maths in class 12. So that is something that requires a little bit more time. So maths is something that I gave time to. Other than that, all other subjects that I had, which were like history and all of these subjects, that can be managed towards the end. Like you don't need to regularly prepare for these subjects. So these subjects I prepared whenever there was a test or something. Now, what this basically does is, because you won't be opening your book for the first time before your boards, that means that you only have to revise during your boards if you prepare properly for pre-boards, right? So other than the times when I was engaged in tests for school, I was giving all my time to CLAT. So my plan for CLAT was, because I know our boards got cancelled and all of that, but we didn't know they would be cancelled, right? So my plan was in May, we would have CLAT, and my political science paper was like one day before the CLAT exam, right? For when the dates came out. So my plan was that in May, I would give one mock every day and analyze that mock. And that's all I would do for CLAT. Other than that, I would prepare for boards, right? So that means that you do not lose sync with CLAT preparation. And at the same time, you're able to score moderately well in boards. So that's all.
Thank you so much. So I think Jyotsna and Divyansh need to leave. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the time that you give me. So if there is any other question, there is a question on subjects for class 11. So you have already heard Ananya and Shelly and Shivangi. I would suggest that take easy subjects, because take the subjects you can study one day before the test, or you can study 2 weeks before the pre-boards. So subjects you have confidence in, like the girls have mentioned here. Do not take very ambitious subjects. You're lucky you have decided not to do something else, So Afra's question is here. So had you decided on something, maybe it would be different. But in your case, since you are at the juncture where you have to choose subjects, if I were in your position, I would choose the easiest subjects, because I don't have to prove to anyone what I score in 11th and 12th. Because I just have to get into college, and I have already mentioned this option was not available for these other people. But in your case, you anyways have to give the CUCET now if you have to even join a regular grad college. So why would you choose subjects which are very, very taxing? And it doesn't matter. I don't think any of these children found any help with the subjects they did in their 11th and 12th, whether it is college or their CLAT exam. You have to start from the start there. You might be an eco stud in school, but maybe you flunked your eco in college. This I've seen for many people. So, you probably got 99 on 100 in eco, but the reality check will be in college when you can't clear one exam, over there. So if I were you, I would not take any ambitious subjects. I would take the ones which are easiest so that I could focus on my entrance exam. And then anyways, I have to start from the beginning in college. It doesn't matter how much you know in school, because it's a new thing altogether. So this is my advice. If others want to add something, please go ahead.
So yeah, I completely, just a second. So I completely agree with Surbhi ma'am. But while friends, I was telling you in the beginning, the benefits of choosing law as a career, another big benefit is that unlike IIT or NEET, you do not have to choose a specific stream. So if you are right now at the stage where you have to choose a stream, then definitely listen to Surbhi ma'am's advice. Choose the easiest subjects, because at the end of the day, 12th marks without any professional degree college is of no use. You have to get into some good college, and the easier the stream, the more time you will have for CLAT preparation. But with that being said, I would like to emphasize on this, that if you are in 12th right now, if you are in 11th right now, you have already chosen a stream. So the stream should not act as a deterrent for you to believe that you can or cannot crack this exam. So Shivangi over here, I'm sure many others, even I personally had physics, chemistry, maths. So if we all can crack it, despite having a science background, a non-medical background, so it is very much possible. Just believe in yourself and start utilizing and managing your time as Shelly, Ananya and others have recommended you. कि कैसे आपको जिस दिन what is important, prioritize that and on other days, you should focus completely on CLAT preparation. Yes, Ananya, you were saying something.
Right. So like this is something that like a lot of people have asked me. Does taking maths in class 12 help you with maths and CLAT? It absolutely does not. The maths you learn in class 12 has got nothing to do with numbers. I'll be very honest with you. All kinds of letters and stuff comes into play. It's got nothing to do with numbers. And the maths that you study in CLAT is something like entirely different. You will have to make time for it, whether you take maths in class 12 or not. But again, I took maths and economics because I thought that that could be like a backup option for me if I want to pursue economics in DU or something like that. That's why I personally took it. You can have your own reasons, but no, maths, taking maths in class 12 is not going to help you in CLAT.
I just have one thing to say.
Yeah.
If there was something that I would tell my class 11th, 12th self, and someone who's not taken up subjects or has taken up any stream, would be use these 2 years of your CLAT prep as preparation for college, not in terms of your subject matter, but developing the habit of reading and reasoning. I think that's something that you will need at every stage in your life, in college and after. So in these 2 years, read as much as you can. And I mean, just don't worry about what stream you're studying, science or whatever. Just like pick up something to read and read. That's all I want to say. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, guys. I mean, that was very, very insightful. And anything that anyone has, you can ask us. In fact, at this point, I would like to invite Karan. He will take on from here questions on joining and any other questions you have for demo sessions, fees, etc. I would now hand it back to Nikhil. He'll probably give us a vote of thanks and call in Karan.
So before I do that, ma'am, I'd like to just take one question. There is a student, Aarti. She says, can you please discuss something about last 2 months preparation? Similarly, there was a student, Garima Swaroop, who was asking me, sir, can I prepare for this exam in last 2 months? So I'd like to assure each and every one of you, there is no doubt about it. The sooner you begin, the more time you have, the easier it will be for you to crack this exam. That being said, does it mean that if you are in 12th right now, you cannot do it? You have Shelly in front of you who started comparatively late. Then friends, if I tell you about my own journey, I started preparing for CLAT right after my board exams. I had hardly 45 days. And in my very first attempt, if I can get a decent rank of All India rank 373, each and every one of you can crack this exam with ease. All you need is selective intensive study. And like Divyansh earlier mentioned that you need coaching for this. Now, coaching acts just like GPS. So believe it or not, you can find the way to some destination on your own as well. But what will happen? You will end up wasting your time. You will enter 2-3 wrong streets, then put the car in the reverse gear, come back, finally reach the destination. Since this is, friends, a time-oriented exam, so coaching helps you with the GPS precision. Turn left, in 300 meters, turn right, and you can definitely crack this exam in limited amount of time, provided you are fully focused towards cracking this exam. So I thank each and every one of you for joining all of us on a Sunday morning. I hope that we have made your Sunday super productive. A big congratulations once again to each and every one of you for choosing to inform yourself about the various career opportunities, especially about law. I hope that all of you will be in a better and more comfortable position to make an informed choice. I thank Dr. Surbhi Modi Sahai. I thank Divyansh, Jyotsna, Shivangi, Shelly, Ananya, my juniors, for lending such helpful insight to all of you. Now, friends, I hand over to Karan Mishra, sir. He is, friends, center head at New Delhi, Clat Possible, and he will definitely make sure that you understand about the different batches that go around in Clat Possible and how you can be a part of Clat Possible family And in a few more years, you can also be a part of this panel. Thank you so much, Ananya, Shelly, Shivangi, and others. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nikhil sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I would quickly give you details about how Clat Possible is going to help you with your preparation with respect to whichever class you are in. There were students who are in class 12th who are looking forward to write Clat exam in May 2022. There were students who are in class 11th currently who are looking forward to write Clat in December. Then there were some students who are in class 10th right now and they are targeting Clat 2024. So first of all, there is a batch, crash course batch, which we are starting on 10th, that's Thursday. This is suitable for a student who are in class 12th currently and they are looking forward to write CLAT in May. So when I say CLAT, we are going to prepare you for all the 5-year law exams, be it CLAT, be it AILET, be it symbiosis. IP will take your CLAT score, Maharashtra CET, LSAT. So all the 5-year law exams will be covered. So student who are in class 12th targeting May CLAT 2022, we are going to start your crash course batch wherein the classes would be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday for 2 hours. New batch is starting on Thursday, that's 10th. Timing for the batch is 6 to 8 in the evening. All the material which is required for preparation, theory book, practice book, every class that you attend, you get lecture sheet in every class. You get access to our website, that's clatpossible.com, wherein you get sectional topic wise test, every month's GK compendium and all India mock. Exactly on the pattern you have to write the paper in May. We'll conduct all India test wherein you get your national level rank, be it CLAT, be it AILET, be it symbiosis, LSAT, Maharashtra CET. So we'll give you all India mocks for every exam. Now, till the time you're not going to have your board date sheet out, we are going to do the classes online for 5 days a week. As soon as your board gets over, we resume the classes, and then the classes would be 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday for 4 hours. So after your board exam, classes would be 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday for 4 hours. Right now, we'll start off with thrice a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Batch is starting on Thursday, since you have demo classes tomorrow and day after. Timing for the batch is 6 to 8. And once you are done with your board exam, the timing 6 to 8 will gradually increase. Number of days will increase before the boards. And after the boards, as I said, classes would be 6 days a week for 4 hours. Now, every batch, be it a crash course, be it a 1-year program, be it a 2-year program, you will get access to our website and access to LMS. What is LMS? LMS I'm going to talk about in length in later slides. So crash course, we are starting on Thursday. Fee for crash course is 40,000, which includes your classes online and offline, all the study material in hard copy, access to our website clatpossible.com, all India mocks, and access to LMS. Now the student who are, after attending couple of demo classes Monday and Tuesday, decide to enroll till Wednesday, we are giving early bird discount of 10%. So if you decide to enroll before Wednesday, till Wednesday, fee for you would be 36,000. You'll get 10% ka fee discount. Now there is second batch for a student who are in class 11th currently and they are targeting December 2022 CLAT. So this batch is ideal for a student who are in class 11. Classes would be in the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday batch is going to start on 12th, that's Saturday. Timing for Saturday would be 4 to 6 in the evening. Sunday timing would be 10 to 2. So Saturday will be a 2 hour of class. Sunday will be a 4 hour of class. Again, all the material which is required for preparation, theory book, practice book will be given to you in hard copy. Every class that you attend, you get lecture sheet. You get access to our website clatpossible.com, wherein you get sectional topic wise test, GK magazines for every month, and all India mock. There will be total 150 all India mocks, which you will write over the period of time. Right now, this batch will wind up all your course with practice and revision by November, because you have to write CLAT in December, but classes will continue till April 2023, because you also have to write AILET, you also have to write symbiosis, IP, Maharashtra CT, BLAT, LSAT. So for CLAT, we'll wind up the syllabus by November, but classes will continue till April 2023, right? Fee for this batch is 1,20,000, which includes again your offline classes, all the study material, offline and online classes, all the study material, access to our website, all India mocks, and access to LMS, right? This batch is starting on 12th, that's Saturday. Now there is one more batch, and there were a couple of students I was there in the chat box. I saw those who are in class 10th, and they are looking forward to write CLAT in 2024. So we call this batch as Zephyr. This is a 2-year program batch. This batch we generally start right after your board exam. Like ma'am told you initially, Surbi ma'am, that once you are done with your board exam, we'll have this 2-year batch. Classes for 2-year batch we do on the weekends only, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday again 2 hours, Sunday 4 hours. All the material again, theory book, practice book, access to our website, every class lecture sheet, GK compendiums for every month. Of course, GK will be valid for you when you move into class 12. So in the first year, we'll do some part of static GK. And when you move into class 12, we'll start off with your current affairs. 60 to 70% of the total course will wind up while you are in class 11. Once you move into class 12, we'll do rest 30-40% with revision and practice, right? So this is the 2-year program for the student who are in class 11 or 10th currently, and will be moving to class 11th hopefully by March. Fee for 2-year course is 1,80,000 if somebody pays in installment. If somebody wants to go for one-time payment, it's 1,60,000. People who decide on to enroll by 20th February, we are currently giving 20% discount on this batch for the student who are in class 10th and deciding to write CLAT 2024 once they move into class 11, right? When I talk about offline classes, our material, this is what you are going to get once you enroll with Clat Possible and you reach to our center. All the centers that Clat Possible has across India, all the centers will have a well-stocked library. So you can take membership of library, you can sit down at center, read books, you can take them back at home, you can get them reissued after a week. There is a library calendar which will be given to you. So you'll have facility of computer labs if you want to sit down, practice some mocks, practice sectional topic wise tests, read GK compendiums. So you'll have access to computer labs which are there at our center. Every class that you'll be getting at the centers will have smart boards for animated classes, for slides, right? So this is what you're going to get when you come for the offline classes at Clat Possible. Now LMS, as I told you, we have introduced LMS in 2020 in association with one of the biggest IT firm which is there in US, Benchprem. As if now in the CLAT preparation industry, there is no one else in the industry who's offering this learning management system. This is basically a very, very important tool when it comes to your self-assessment. When it comes to know how your progress is going, since you are there with Clat Possible, so you'll have this dashboard once you log in into your MyZone and activate your LMS. So dashboard will represent and it will reflect your percentile rank vis-a-vis others, your average practice scores, how have you been performing in tests, right? And all the lectures which you'll have to go through will be in the recorded format, just like there's a screenshot of a percentage lecture in an animated form where you can take notes during the lecture. This note will be saved for future reference. You can rate your confidence after you have done the recorded lecture, whether you're comfortable with that topic, you want more revision, you can keep rating your confidence in this box. Now this will also give you a study plan. Let's say 2 to 3 months down the line, you're there with one and a half month, you're there with Clat Possible. You want to do your SWOT analysis. What's your strength? What's your weakness? Where you need to work more. So study plan will be in 2 format. There is a basic study plan, which will ask you to go step by step. Let's say you started off with a topic in legal. So you started with criminal, then you move on to contract, likewise. So when 1.5 months down the line, you want to check how have you been improving, you switch to adaptive study plan. Now, adaptive study plan is something which will ask you to take a diagnostic test. So based on the classes that you have attended, the sheets that you have practiced, the tests that you have written, you'll take the diagnostic test, and based on your performance in the diagnostic test, it will come up with a study plan. Let's say there is a student who has taken the test and has a problem in critical reasoning. So this learning management system, it's a smart system. It will predict you, it will recommend you to do more lectures of critical reasoning. It will give you more tests to practice on. And similarly, let's say there is another kid who is weak in maths or AR, arithmetical reasoning. So it will suggest more lectures on AR and sheets. So everyone will have their unique study plan with them when they'll switch to adaptive study plan. Am I clear? Then LMS will give you an access to discussion forum. So let's say you are enrolled at one of our center, let's say in Delhi, Connaught Place, and you want to discuss, there is some question among your batch group. So discussion forum will have three modes. One, discussion among your batch group, when you post your questions and your friends who are there in your class will answer the question. Then there is an open discussion forum wherein you post the question, and irrespective of which batch you're from, which city you're from, that question will be answered by everyone. I mean, let's say if there is a guy who's enrolled at our Mumbai center, there's a guy who's enrolled at Chandigarh, Lucknow. So they'll see your question and they'll answer them. Then the third option for discussion is ask your mentor. You don't have time, you have to write a mock day after tomorrow. So you need a correct answer with correct explanation. So you'll post the question and assign to a mentor who will answer the question, so that you'll get to know that the answer is right. The reasoning which has been given to you is verified. You can follow that, right? Then there is a tab for lesson where all the topics that you'll have to do, be it in English, be it in maths, be it in reasoning, GK, will be there in the recorded format. So you can access them whenever you like. You can rate your confidence, you can redo them a number of times, right? Then there is a practice forum where you do sectional topic wise test. You can take more diagnostic tests. You can check your performance and score your improvement. Now, this LMS app is available on both Android and iPhone. So Google Play Store or iOS App Store, this app is available. You can download this app, and this app will be in sync with your desktop performance. So let's say if you are at the backseat of your car, you are doing some lecture, you are practicing some question, so it will be saved in the cloud. You reach back at your home, you sit down at your desktop, you want to practice one more time. I mean, you left it from somewhere, some point, and you want to continue from there, you can do that. So all those who are there in Clat Possible will get access to Clat Possible mobiles app with their login credentials, of course. Now, these are the faculty members who will be taking your classes. Dr. Surbhi, she has just interacted with you. She'll be taking your English and CR classes. Satyam sir, he takes your DI classes. Abhishek sir, he takes your legal classes. Nikhil, one of the finest mentor that we have, he'll be taking your English and GK classes. He's going to take your demo class tomorrow. There's a demo class
Legal
for
also,
legal.
sir.
And then Saurabh sir, Tarun sir, these all are the faculty members who will be taking your classes. Now, these are the study material, the screenshot of all the study material which you're going to get. So Black Book, as Shelly and Ananya were telling you, are for theory, and purple books are meant for practice. Every class that you'll attend, you'll get lecture sheet. When we'll be doing with the offline classes, you will get them in hard copy. Otherwise, it will be given to you in online during this session, right? So these are all the materials which you'll be getting. Now, this is the batch date. Please take a screenshot of this slide, guys. So students who are in class 12, who are targeting May 2022 CLAT, as I said, your batch is starting on 10th. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, timing will be 6 to 8. Now, students who are in class 11th, who are looking forward to write CLAT in December and AILET in May 2023, your batch is starting on 12th. So this is the batch dates for you guys. Demo class and their timing is there on the screen. Tomorrow, there is a legal demo class by Nikhil sir. He'll be taking your demo class tomorrow, 5 to 6. Link is there in the chat box. Those who have registered will get a confirmation mail and a reminder tomorrow. Just like you have joined this session today, you'll get a reminder mail for tomorrow's demo class as well. Then day after, there is a demo class of English and critical reasoning by Dr. Surbhi. Now, please take a screenshot of this slide. This is very important. These are all the centers that Clat Possible has across India. So you can get in touch with us in case you want one-on-one counseling. There is some question which has got unanswered. You want to meet us personally. These are all the cities where we are present. You can get in touch with us. You can schedule one-on-one counseling. You can drop in at our center. Now, for the student who are from the cities where we don't have center, you can either contact the Lucknow, which is our head office, or me. I take care of all the centers in Delhi NCR. So first two numbers, in case if you are from the city where we don't have center, you can either contact head office or me. I take care of Delhi NCR centers. Now, any question that you might have regarding any of the batches I have told you or fee structure, please feel free to ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Any question regarding batch, timing, fee structure, anything you can ask me. Thank you so much, Nikhil sir. He's such a nice guy. He's been sharing all the links with you guys since I was not able to see the chat box. So you already got the link for our Facebook channel, the Instagram channel, YouTube channel, and SAT seminar link, which ma'am was saying is we are doing a SAT seminar on 13. So all the links are there in the chat box. Any question that you have for me, please post in chat box. Rishiraj, I hope you have taken the screenshot of all the center and their center manager's number. You can get in touch with them. They'll help you out, I'm sure. So whichever city you're from, please feel free to call them, meet them, tell them about your problem. They'll help you out for sure. Any other question, guys?
So Karan sir, I feel that questions तो बहुत सारे होंगे definitely और बहुत सारी queries भी होंगी. So हमारे friends, I hope you all have noted down the numbers. Trust me, the best way to clear your doubts, even a better way than this conclave, is to visit one of our centers. We have centers in 14 places now. Almost every big city is covered. And friends, the counselors are more than happy and willing to help you out. Discuss it with your parents. If your parents accompany you to some center, trust me, the counselors would be more than happy and willing to entertain each and every doubt of yours. And just like Karan sir said to Rishi, मेरे दोस्त, मिलके बात होती है, तो आप definitely you visit one of the centers, and I'm sure the people at Clat Possible, they will be definitely willing to help you out in whatsoever best way they can. Correct, sir?
Right, perfect, sir. Thank you so much.
So, sir, would you like to share something else, or
no, I guess we are done. I'm just here in the chat box in case they have any question left, although I've shared the number or anything. Otherwise, we'll close the session in another 2 minutes, right?
Okay. So friends, I have shared the links with all of you. So Clat Possible is there on different social media platforms. First and foremost, the website of Clat Possible is clatpossible.com. Do check out the website. You will find tons of relevant material if you want to crack the common law admission test, AILET, or other exams like BLAT, or then Symbiosis exam or Indraprasth University exam. You'll get information regarding all these exams on clatpossible.com. Apart from that, we are there on Instagram, the link I've shared with you. We are there on Telegram. Please do join that group. You will keep on getting all the latest material that we share with our students on Telegram. Along with that, friends, I've shared 2 links with you. One is the demo class link. So I am sure that most of you would be joining me for the demo class tomorrow. Please do let me know in the chat section कौन-कौन आएगा, कौन-कौन मिलेगा मेरे से दोबारा कल. Also, friends, you have the SAT seminar on next Sunday, that is the 13th February. So just like you have utilized your Sunday today and made it super productive, trust me, take out 2 precious hours from your Sunday morning next week also and get to know about SAT. So Amrita, my friend, will be attending the demo class. A big thumbs up to all of you. Along with this demo class, friends, let me tell you an inside information. ठीक है, आप और भी classes attend कर सकते हो, देख सकते हो कहां पर? YouTube के ऊपर. So YouTube, we have a dedicated Clat Possible channel. Open that channel and you will find so many videos by so many mentors of Clat Possible. मेरी खुद की बहुत सारी वीडियोस होती है वहां पर. कल शाम का एक लेक्चर है लाइव, वो पड़ा हुआ है. So if you want to get a sneak peek into what teaching is like at Clat Possible, what do mentors offer, how can they polish your skills to crack this exam, do check out those videos. I will definitely look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you so much, friends. Take care. Jai Hind and have a happy Sunday. Take care, friends.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye. See you.
Okay, Karan sir. Thank you so much.